Hi, I'm Johnny John. Spiritual lessons are the lessons in life which we can use to create greater happiness in life, and they will always take us to face our suffering states of the mind. Today, I'm going to introduce you a way to discover your spiritual lessons, and that is through the discovery of our negative ideas. This will be a more technical method, so it's more suited for the more technical person, the scientific person who likes to reach conclusions through analysis. Of course, other methods will be much easier to understand, but this method will be more technical, so be prepared. So let's begin. So when we are in the state of suffering, whether it is a fear, anger, impatience, and so forth, we are in the state of rejection. For instance, a fear is a state of rejection towards an experience. Anger is a state of rejection towards oneself or others, and so forth. Now, if we want to go deeper into the cause of our sufferings, we will have to ask the question, what is the cause for the state of self-rejection? And looking outwards for the cause, we may blame that it's that person, the situation, or the experience, but I want to explore the deeper cause that is within, and that will eventually take us to our beliefs, the patterns of thoughts, basically the ideas we have about the world. Realize that within the mind, all begins with an idea. We can carry ideas which promote happiness or suffering. Whatever ideas we have will determine our experience, our reactions to the world outside. Ideas which promote self-rejection can be called negative ideas, because these ideas are the seed cause for the suffering states of the mind, and how much we suffer will depend on how much we are attached to these ideas. Some examples of negative ideas we can carry, which promote self-rejection, can include, I don't like that guy because he's ugly. She should not be arrogant. His selfishness is a flaw. I mean, there are so many negative ideas we can become attached to, and these ideas will always promote the state of self-rejection and the sense of rejection towards ourselves, others, and the world. The self and self-rejection means everything, because to the deeper mind, there's only one self. As negative ideas can be expressed in many possible ways, let's simplify it. We can simply understand negative ideas as self-declarations which begin with, it is not okay. For instance, it is not okay to be ugly, it is not okay to be arrogant, it is not okay to be selfish. We can simplify negative ideas in this form. I think doing this will make it easier to understand. But in essence, negative ideas are energetic configurations, and what we're doing is trying to transcribe that state into words. Unfortunately, no words can do justice to describe that state, so we can only do our best. So basically, any ideas which begin with it is not okay will be negative ideas. Let us look at how negative ideas work in the mind to create suffering. Let us use an example and see how it works. Let's use the example, it is not okay to be arrogant. Negative ideas will always create negativity in all levels of the self. The mental self, emotional self, physical self, and so forth. For instance, because it is not okay to be arrogant, this will promote negative judgments towards others and oneself when one is arrogant. Because it is not okay to be arrogant, this will also create a fear within for appearing arrogant. Because it is not okay to be arrogant, it will also create negative physical sensations on the body when the idea is triggered by an outside experience. So see how that one idea can cause so much suffering within all levels of the self. And how intense the experience will be will depend on how much we are attached to that negative idea. Now, to discover our negative ideas, we can get a piece of paper and list down all the experiences that we don't like in life. For instance, suffering situations, people who made us suffer, or things that we fear, things that make us angry, impatient, jealous. Basically, any experiences that will bring out inner negativity. And then we can try to transcribe these experiences into negative ideas. For instance, if the suffering experience is about giving a public speech, maybe one of the negative ideas is about it is not okay to be embarrassed. And because there can be more than one negative ideas in an experience, maybe you'll discover other ideas, such as it is not okay to be boring, it is not okay to waste other people's time. And like this, we can list down all our negative ideas. And there will be many. Personally, I ended up with pages of negative ideas when I first began listing them down. I just have a lot of negativities to work through. Finding the negative ideas is quite a useful exercise, because finding the negative ideas in our suffering experiences can really make us aware of the reasons and the causes to why we're reacting so negatively in such an experience. And after we have listed them down, then we can use these negative ideas to discover our spiritual lessons. What we can do is, by writing down the negative ideas which begin with "it is not okay" on the left column of a piece of paper, then putting an arrow going towards the right, and then writing the inverted version of the negative idea, and that will begin with "it is okay." For instance, from "it is not okay to be ugly" goes to "it is okay to be ugly." From "it is not okay to be arrogant" becomes "it is okay to be arrogant." From "it is not okay to be selfish" becomes "it is okay to be selfish." This is how you can discover your spiritual lessons. These represent the journey that you have to undertake to complete the lessons. And the journey from the negative ideas to the potentiated ideas, which are the ideas which begin with "it is okay," will be full of confusion and challenges. We will no doubt encounter confusing problems, much like the questions of how can we accept what we cannot currently accept? How can we forgive someone when we don't want to forgive them? How can we be courageous in the things that we fear? Now, there are many ways for one to undertake and complete these spiritual lessons, but it will always revolve around the theme of self-acceptance, to accept oneself, to accept others, to accept the world as it is. Developing self-knowing will be especially helpful for one to cultivate self-acceptance. Begin writing down your negative ideas and its potentiated idea to get a view of your spiritual journey, to discover the spiritual lessons which awaits you. I hope that this video has helped you to understand what negative ideas are and how they can be used to discover our spiritual lessons. I don't want to go into too much detail about how to undertake and complete the spiritual lessons, but if you're interested in the self-transformative aspects of the practice, you can look at my other videos or visit my website for free resources. In the next video, we will be looking at the way of discovering our spiritual lessons through exploring the opposites of who we are. So I'll see you soon.